Over
So
to you.
good evening, good morning, everyone. I'm not sure the time zone, so I'll stick with IST. So good evening, everyone. And I have 16 years of experience. So Mudassir deducted 6 years, but that's fine. So I've been playing the role of an architect, or rather than blockchain architect, since last 6 years or so. Previously, before that, I used to be a solution architect. Currently, I'm heading an entire department made up of blockchain developers, leads, and all. So today we are going to discuss about NFT marketplace. Now the point is, it's a part of Algorand hack series. There are five different categories, and this is one of the categories. Now the point is, why NFT marketplace? There are plenty of NFT marketplaces in the world. So what is expected out of it, right? So the first obvious question is, what is expected out? So just give me a moment. I'll share my screen, then we can start. Mudassir, let me know once my screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. So basically, if I need to can just drag this. Yeah. So why to participate? First of all, before we even start for NFT or the other four categories, BYOP and ARC and the other two. So why to participate? So first of all, your problem solving skills will be improvised. Why? Because we are not expecting to build you an entire product. What we are expecting is to build a component, a smaller component, right? So basically, which can be helpful to everybody who is trying to do something with Algorand blockchain. So the point is, first thing always comes to my mind is, do I need to conceive the entire product? No, you don't need to conceive the entire product. The hack series, this particular category says NFT marketplace. So what you can do is, what is required for an NFT marketplace to function properly, right? Like listing an NFT or buying or selling or all these kinds of things you can create, but not the entire NFT marketplace itself. So again, saying guys, you are not creating the entire marketplace, you are creating building blocks of NFT marketplace. So first of all, you need to have critical thinking. So what exactly is required, right? Then you may or may not be aware of Algorand, so that will give you an exposure to the newer technologies. And most importantly, if you do okay, suddenly I was muted. So basically, you have to, once you finish this one, you will show on your GitHub repo that can be included in the resumes. Now, previously, let's say 2, 3, or 4 years back, this was not required, but currently it is extremely required that people will ask about your GitHub repo, whatever public, you can say repos you have, not private ones, the public ones, which you would like to share with the entire developer community. So basically, this is again a very, very, very good opportunity for the advancement of your career and all. So these are the basic reasons to participate in particular. What happened? Yeah. So again, why hackathons? I mean, this is the word I've used, hackathons, but this is basically we are calling it hack series. So diverse team dynamics. The most important part of being a developer is how to work yourself or how to adjust yourself according to the skills of other fellow developers in your team, right? To create a better product, to create a better outcome for your client, right? So diverse team dynamics. So maybe you can do single, you can do with multiple people, but again, to work in a team presents a different scenario altogether, right? So that also this particular kind of series can also teach you that. And secondly, is time-driven innovation, right? So if you start something and let's say, okay, I'll finish that maybe in a month, maybe in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. But human brain is a, you can say, a little bit trickier to handle. So if you don't put a time barrier, you will never be able to achieve anything, right? It's a common every self motivation book will tell you this one. So here also it basically is time driven innovation. So whatever you are going to do, just give yourself a time. Let's say, okay, I want to achieve this in, let's say, 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks, whatever it is. But give yourself a time. Otherwise, you will not be able to finish the code in time for the submission or maybe for the next round or moving further or decide or conceiving your idea a little bit deeper, right? So what are the building blocks or building open source component for NFT marketplaces? So first of all, you have to have user-centric design principles. So what's a user-centric design principle basically is, let's say, if you are creating something. So I'm not asking again to create an entire marketplace, but you can create a UI component of a very simple template where somebody can utilize so that they can also start building the NFT marketplace or some other things very creatively. Then we have scalable architecture solutions. Now you can create something which takes care of, let's say, database or some other things, which might be a little bit on slower side. So you can design the solution and you can pick out that, okay, these are the little things which are required and pick those only. So that will help whoever is building the product using your component can design a scalable architecture. Why? Because if your component is a slower one, the entire architecture suffers. So what you need to do, that's why you are not designing the entire architecture. You are designing only your component, which is properly, let's say you have done code reviews. I don't expect to do that, but I'm just giving you an idea from a team lead perspective that code reviews or maybe refactoring the code. So that gives you an idea that, okay, if you have written something in 100 lines, that can be achieved in 50, right? Something like this. And interoperability. This is very interesting and you can say very, very required nowadays. You have seen plenty of NFT marketplaces across the globe, but again, interoperability still doesn't exist. So if you can think something like that, go ahead, right? So what are the essential features? So first of all is again intuitive user experience. So to advance somebody, to help somebody as a developer, they might not have a UI team, but you want to create a UI component which can directly be clubbed with marketplaces, go ahead. Second, most important part, we are doing NFT. So basically, it can have trading and something which may or may not deal with the cryptocurrency or real-time money. So you have to implement security. So you can think that, okay, this security component can be created, which can be leveraged by the ecosystem. I mean to say Algorand ecosystem. So it helps them to create a better product. So create that also. Third most important part is analytics. Why? Because every particular thing which you or NFT is created, there is a journey associated with that particular NFT. Now, in that kind of journey, you need analytics. Okay, what to buy, when to buy, what price should I put. Now, these particular things are required by the developers so that they can help their consumers, right? So you can create a tool which can be leveraged by the developers and they can utilize it. So again, guys, you don't need to create the entire marketplace, but these are little components you can create. But again, everything has to be a sort of an API layer, so that can be consumed by the developers. So what is the role of open source developer, basically? So this is on the right-hand side, you can see a very attractive kind of NFT, but collaborative development environment. Now, why this particular thing is required? Because think your life without GitHub and Google for one day or maybe 1 hour. It will be challenging for every developer across the globe, irrespective of whether you are a beginner or you are a veteran like me, right? But that helps. This kind of particular thing where the code sharing, where the idea sharing are happening, help a lot of people. And that's why open source ecosystem has to be there, right? So that is the reason that whatever you are creating, create in a with a perspective that you are creating for the entire ecosystem. You are not creating a product, but you are bifurcating the product into little steps, little rungs, which you are adding, which you are helping your fellow developers to build or to conceive the entire product. So basically, first of all, how to start. So I've just already spoken about a lot of things, but again, you can have the goal, what component you want to achieve or you want to build. So study if there are other components in the market, right? There are other chains also which are older than Algorand. They may have created, so you can study them. That whether something like this is already created for some other chain, or whatever you have an idea in mind, follow that route, try to see whether that is good or not. Build a diverse team. So do not talk to your immediate friend and build a team with him. Otherwise, you will not be able to achieve much things. Why? Because he is also similar to you. So create a diverse team. If you are working alone, no problems. But if you are working in a team, you have to add diversity, like somebody needs to have some sort of testing background or some sort of API, back end, front end. Currently, everybody is a full stack developer, but still, I'm just trying to explain. And again, effective collaboration because that is extremely required. If you don't collaborate, if you don't learn anything, if you don't create something which is worthwhile, your time also, forget about winning. The point is you are investing your time, you are investing your precious time. You are, maybe you are working, you are a student, but still you are sitting a little long to do this. So it has to be a worthwhile for you. It has to be important enough for you, for the people who are going to consume, and that cannot work without collaboration, right? So that is the reason that you should do in that manner. So incentives, forget about the other aspect. I'm talking about, first of all, whenever I pick up something new, why I develop is the first part is skill development opportunities. Then you can have these networking with industry leaders, and will get a chance to showcase and everything. But these are just, I'm just trying to tell you why you should do whatever you are doing, why you are doing. But again, coming back to our NFT one, so these are the basic things you need to worry about: listing and buying, trading. All these things are already there. These are the new things which I've like, I just wanted to give you a little flavor additional to that, because NFT is like the most prominent use case of blockchain was since like maybe 5 or 6 or maybe 10 years is NFT. So to know anything about or to speak anything about NFT marketplace is just repeating. So that's why you can add certain tools. You can create Visual Studio extensions. You can create maybe some little component or some React.js package or Node.js package, and then you can outsource that. You can put on GitHub so that, not outsource, open source that, so that the other fellow developers or the Algorand ecosystems can utilize your product and create a better solution, or maybe not better, but create a solution, or maybe that satisfies that. So this is all I wanted to discuss with you guys. This is my LinkedIn handle, or sorry, LinkedIn profile. So you can reach me out if you need any, or if you need any support, or if you have any doubt. But other than that, that was all I wanted to discuss with you guys today. That this is what you should think of. This is what you should do when you start working, when you start coding, when you start building your team, when you start conceiving your idea, when you are about to take your first step. So prepare for all these things, and then you should move forward. You should start putting the things on, you can say, on programming level. But before even that, I always like to create something which I call it as a skeleton module, right? So what I do is I still today, whenever I am designing a whole solution or something, I put it on paper. I'll connect the dots wherever I want to go, and then I'll start development module by module, component by component, and then suddenly when all the components talk to each other, it always like it emerges as a complete solution, right? So what you should do is just write down what are the things required. You think that these are the components required to build an effective NFT marketplace, and then pick one based on your skill set and try to extend that or build a component around. So this is, you can say, my advice, my guidance, or my support, you can say, for all the fellow developers. Now we are open for questions. So if you have any questions or anything you want to discuss, again, you can write in the chat. You can ask me directly. No problem in any case. I think, Mohita, everybody's mic, they are allowed to unmute their mic and speak, right?
Yes, absolutely, they are.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, any questions, anything you want to ask, add? This is basically NFT marketplace. If you remove NFT, it becomes only marketplace. So what if your component may be used for other purposes also, right? So that's a huge opportunity for everybody. So don't consider that you are creating something which is already there since last 10 years, since last decade in the world. No, you are creating something which can allow someone else to build something more than NFT marketplace. NFT is just a use case that, okay, you should, so that gives you an idea. Like currently, the entire world is after artificial intelligence, right? So how can blockchain, this particular AI can be used in NFT or any kind of marketplace? You can think like that too, right? So deployment, maybe migrating from some platform to this one, or whatever it is, like interoperability. I told you that's still a very big challenge, which is being faced by the entire industry. So what you can do is think hard, try to follow some blogs, read some documents. So that will give you an idea of how to start or exactly which component to pick. Hi, Nikhil.
Hello, Sunil. Good morning. Good evening, rather.
Fine.
Yeah, as you already mentioned, Sunil, this is one of the things that I want to kind of, and I think very rightly so. See, NFT is just what we are using is a placeholder here, right?
Yes.
It could be a real world asset, right? You could have,
True.
it is basically the whole construct of marketplace in decentralization is a very big thing.
True.
The idea of marketplace, just to be able to go back, is to be able to remove the intermediaries, right? And over here, the whole idea, the construct of being able to put something there, out there in a marketplace, to be able to sell in a fractional way, to be able to sell with some kind of, some other complexities. Like yesterday, I was talking to someone, and I was talking about this whole idea, the construct of this Dutch auction, right? In fact, not many people know Algorand's token was first launched by a Dutch auction framework, which is super cool, right? You could have this model which very much like, I'm just talking about different kinds of module ideas, like in Kickstarter, right? You have a particular project where people pledge something, correct? And until and unless a certain threshold is hit, your pledge does not kick in. So essentially, you don't have this whole fear that what if I'm one of the 10 people who are going to be investing on this particular project. So these are some very, very interesting avenues that we will be seeing in the marketplace. And NFT, just because it is non-fungible, that's why we kind of use it. And NFT could be a representation of a real-world asset. NFT could be a dynamic thing. NFT could be, a part of a marketplace where you're renting things, right? I mean, I can rent my car through an NFT marketplace if I just turn my car into an NFT, and that would be the digital signature of my car, and just a peer-to-peer leasing of my car, peer-to-peer rental of my car can be done. Of course, I don't want to do my car, but I'm just kidding. You can do it from your house. You can rent your house, right? Yeah, it is there. I know.
It is there in a block I guess MG Hector released a car. MG has released a car called Esther, and that car comes with a blockchain wallet.
Right.
As per the blog, I have not seen that, but it is there. So we are thinking, and we are saying that okay, it might be possible. It seems that it is possible in very, very nearby future. So
correct. And I mean, home rental, this whole idea of Airbnb, right? This is actually something which can easily go away. A hotel can have NFT for rooms.
Very true.
Correct. A hotel room can be an NFT, right? You could just go to a marketplace and go and buy it instead of going through brokers. A hotel can also kind of democratize access, and it will be a smart contract. When you actually deploy a smart contract, you can have a breakfast provision, you can have this, you can have that, and based on that, your card will automatically be programmed. Your phone will be automatically programmed with that particular NFT.
Exactly.
Right. NFT could be a marketplace. I mean, I did this, Sunil. I was working with a Gaushala in Texas. This is where they were trying to do ecotourism, and you were able to kind of buy an NFT to get ownership to that ecotourism of that Gaushala, where if you were able to get milk and ghee and everything at a discounted price just because you have an NFT. But that NFT was getting you as a investor into that Gaushala, and it would give you 2 tickets every year to visit the ecotourism that you could sell in a marketplace.
Right.
Right. So many cool applications you can think of with blockchain, right? And there are limitless options. What we encourage people is of course, we are putting the NFT marketplace or any of the projects that we have here as a placeholder to be able to give you a construct of the theme. But you're not building an NFT marketplace. You're building the modules for the NFT marketplace.
True. So there is a question that blockchain-based copyright and royalty distribution, by all means, you should target that. But again, Chandra, we are not expecting the entire solution. So you can build a component where people can utilize this kind of, if anybody wants to utilize NFT is also as a utility token, right? And believe me, if you ask me, I like the NFT utility part more rather than these other where the entire design and everything is famous for. So as Nikhil said that Goshala example, here you are talking about copyright and royalty distribution. So there are n number of different things. Basically, if you see that our Aadhaar card is also a kind of an NFT only because that is unique, that is associated with you, and it empowers you to leverage certain benefits from government. So everything associated with our life, mostly as a utility or something, that can have this kind of NFT behavior. So Chandra, you should move forward to that. But again, don't conceive that as an entire product. Just pick a component and build that. But yeah, that is a good product. You should move ahead with that. Okay, any other questions? Anybody? You can type in like Chandra did, right? If you don't want to ask us directly, that's fine. You can type in also. And I mean, see, guys, NFT also plays a very important role in healthcare domain too. Like the entire world talks about sharing the healthcare data and all, which is a very, very, very wide subject and deep subject, and is mostly handled by government, right? Government never allowed any private entity to enter that market. But you can add on, you can extend to a certain level where that can be utilized alongside with those data which is already controlled by government or any other government recommended body. So you can think that part too. I mean, 2 3 years back, uh, I'm still under the NDA, so I cannot discuss the entire product, but that was a complete NFT marketplace for healthcare data, and it was majestic, right? I guess three years back we have created. At that time, I was like the client suggested a platform, and we had to go along with that chain, but the point is, the idea overall was to create an NFT utility kind of behavior where the data can be shared across all the entities effectively, right? And most importantly, as I mean, yesterday also, or maybe day before yesterday, we talked about PII, that is personal identifiable information. So hiding that entire piece, and then again still be able to share the data that entirely puts you on the scale on the market without you can say without being worried about your own safety and security. So think from that perspective also that NFT is not what we are talking about is not just NFT. It is a whole new level of utility tokens or real world assets or any other utility you can think of. Anyone? You can have like QR codes, you can have everything, right? So don't think that NFT is just a picture. It can be anything, right? As trying with the real world asset, any picture, anything. Even like I'm trying to create an augmented reality based NFT tool, which is a whole new level of NFTs, right? So you can create some module, some component where people can utilize this kind of behavior.
Sunil, there is another thing with NFT marketplace. This one, the prelude to it is this whole creation of NFT that you're talking
Yes,
about, right?
yes,
Right. And in fact, I would say the whole tokenization process. There could be certain aspects of tokenization process that could be legal, just like this example that was referred to that we were talking about, which is copyright, right?
right.
And so how do we kind of create a NFT token? Uh, to be able to demonstrate that I have a copyright for a particular thing.
Right.
Correct. This is not very easy. Okay.
No.
So as of now, we tend to have like a C written on top of everything and it says copyright. Correct.
Yes.
Whenever you're writing anything, but has anybody ever verified that C? It's just that company is writing C, so we have to believe that they have copyright. They might have just applied for the copyright. They
Of
might have
course.
got rejected for the copyright. They might have never applied for the copyright and can write C. I
They've
have
just
written C
written
so
it.
many times, right? When I have never applied. Not that I had any ulterior motive, that I had an intention to copyright in the future. So I was writing it copyright from the beginning, and somebody said, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing it." I said, "Stop doing it." Like, nobody takes any kind of a legal advice or anything on this, right? However, when it is copyright, there are certain rights and privileges that you have, right? I mean, one of the things is this is my copyright. Like, suppose I put something as a copyright. Suppose, Sunil, I want to share something which is my copyright and be able to
Right.
generate some economics around it. That is the whole idea of copywriting, right? So that
Yes,
nobody
of course.
can copy it. But if somebody wants to use it, they have to pay me something, correct?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
The question is, at this point of time, can anybody who has a copyright be able to get revenue very easily in a Web2 system?
No,
There's nothing there, right?
it is
So
not there.
if
Even
I
you cannot, as you rightly said, you cannot even track whether it is actually
exactly
copyrighted or not.
right, right. So if we are having a copyright and we link it to a Web3 marketplace with a smart contract library. Suppose you make it just a smart contract library, right?
Yes.
That okay, you can pay per use model, you can have a yearly contract, you can buy tokens, and this is the cost per every transaction, or you contact me to be able to kind of have a very customized thing, right? You could have
Right.
three options, which is dynamic. What are the chances that you will be able to generate revenue very fast? It's very high because if you are able to get the customer to be the potential person to be a customer in 1 click or 2 clicks, marketing says that that person is going to be a customer. If it takes
Exactly.
forever for them to contact you, they'll never be a customer, right?
True, true,
So
true.
this could be such a big, powerful tool if we are able to define just a library of smart contracts to be able to kind of create. And then there could be something else, which is the tokenization aspect of copyright. I think all the lawyers would love this because then
Definitely,
the
yes.
lawyer, the lawyers will be the people who would create the tokens, right? So
True.
yeah,
And lawyers love technology because that reduces their work. So they like it. I've created, I mean, generative AI is just a buzzword since last year or so. But 7 or 8 years back, I did an entire AI-based solution, AI-based chatbot for lawyers, and they loved it
uh,
very much because that reduced their work by, let's say, 60%,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they liked it very much. So everybody whose work get reduced, they will just love your product. Component,
right.
module, product doesn't matter, but they will just love it. So that is the whole idea of creating such things.
And it will not only reduce, Sunil, it will also generate new revenue for lawyers
Of
also,
course,
because
yes. Of course,
tokenization
yes.
is going to be their new business, right? So they can
Because
hold all the real documents under their custody and be the issuers of that particular token,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. And
right?
once their time is reduced, they can have new cases. So that will again additional
True,
revenue for them.
true, true.
So, and I mean, see, there are plenty of things which you can associate with an NFT under the tag of metadata, the various things. So you can have like plenty of opportunities, plenty of things to think of that, okay. And believe me, NFT probably the most important part of blockchain which touches the human aspect or human life basically at a different level other than everything else. So you can think of anything and everything in this particular domain. So I can tell you that. Any other questions, guys? I think everybody is just waiting for us to finish so that they can go and enjoy their weekend evening.
Sunil, I just want to make an announcement once, whenever
Sure,
we are kind of towards the end,
sure,
with
sure.
regards to the form. Uh, Maybe we'll just wait for another 2 minutes for any more
Yeah,
question,
yeah,
and then I can.
sure, sure. And guys, there are other 4 sessions also. The link is also given. So you can, sorry, 4 other categories. So you can go ahead and visit the previous ones if you missed it. So don't worry. If you missed it, it is already on the YouTube. So you can go ahead and study the other categories also. So you can decide in which one you want to participate or which component you want to create.
All right. If there are no more questions, maybe I'll just make a. Uh, since this is our last live info session, I just want to let everyone know who are attending that very soon, this weekend, in fact, we will be releasing. So the first form was just an interest form. We will be releasing the next form where you will have to define which of the four you are going to be working on. Okay. and also be describing in some detail as to what. So suppose you say NFT marketplace, you have to define what in NFT marketplace you're going to be working on.
Yes.
We will also be, uh, uh, I mean, in that submission process, there will be a link requested for your GitHub repository. Not that we want to get into your GitHub repository right away, but you just want to get everything started. Every developer has to have a GitHub repository. Otherwise, what are we developing here? But yes, once as we move on, as we shortlist you, then we will continue to talk to you and help you out to be able to, whatever you are pursuing as an open source component, how you can kind of make it better. Uh, there are several avenues, Sunil, and everyone. I mean, Sunil, I think we have to chat about this. There are several avenues that we are trying to kind of create for open source developers in India and globally, which is essentially we are trying to put structures for rapid
Okay.
development, right?
Right.
So these structures for rapid development will give open source developers. So suppose you make an NFT marketplace, right, and you deploy the smart contract. Now
Right.
we will create some kind of an abstract collected set of open source for lawyers, suppose, yeah, and we are able to demonstrate to lawyers how one of their solutions would look like with your open source solution. And when they build this solution, you could be the consultant. We are not a development company. Algorand Foundation is a foundation where our job is to be able to help diffusion of blockchain technology. So if you are the person, you are the creator, we will be able to provide an avenue for you to be able to be the subject matter expert, or the technology expert rather, and bring in a subject matter expert to be able to build that whole solution together. And that is your way of monetizing it. That is your way of reaching out. So think of it as generic a solution as possible. If you become specific, then you limit yourself to that specific area. But in open source, the idea should be very generic. As Sunil also mentioned before, or you could start from specific, but try to make it as generic as possible. So suppose you know of a business problem, try to solve it, but try to think how this will be more can be applied in multiple areas. Yeah. So that with that, I would just kind of want to kind of request all of you to keep an eye on your emails. We will be reaching out to you by email and by through social media with the new form. The new form will have all the recordings of these sessions that we've had, and details, and as I mentioned, a collection of your choices. For those of you who did not submit the first form, this could be the form through which you can register also. That first form was for us to be able to host this info session, to be able to see what is the interest level. But the second form I think, is due on the 21st of March, so we have time. But we will be reaching out to you, reminding you, and please do not procrastinate. It's always good to get into the system, define yourself, define your work, and keep going. However, this is also going to be a filter round, mind you. So you just don't want to write one sentence, I want to do NFT marketplace, I don't know what I'm going to do. If you don't know what you're doing, then how can we help you? So it's important that we are into co-creation here. We will help you in the co-creation of the product, but you also have to be a co-producer. Like, if you don't know, what you're building, then we have a problem. So please put some thought to it. Watch all the videos. Look at the avenue which is of your interest. Look at the avenue which you've been thinking about. Write about it, and we will make that magic happen. That's my few things here.
Yes. And there is a question for video NFT decentralized exchange. So, Manav, I not get the entire idea, but as I said earlier, if you want to build a component which can be leveraged for that kind of exchange. So idea seems to be good, but the point is you should not create the entire product. Create a component which you think that with a critical one may be necessary and work alongside with. Like Nikhil rightly mentioned that if you create something with keeping in mind that okay, the use case properly, your use case may be for legal domain, maybe some healthcare domain. So you have to define that what particular domain you are trying to solve, you are trying to component for, and that will help you out. So anyways, exchange NFTs pretty much you can say similar or two sides of a coin. It is there. But video NFT decentralized exchange, it's a very generic term. So you need to bifurcate, you need to conceive the idea and then pick one module and create that modular component, which can help you out, right? Okay, so after Nikhil's encouraging announcement, any one last minute, I'll wait. Any questions, and then we can conclude the session. Okay, so it seems, Mohita, there are no other questions. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you for this excellent session. And thank you to Prof as well for walking us through the hack series and especially the next submission form. I'd just like to tell our folks here that the form is up and it's ready to accept submissions. And in fact, I just put up the form, in the morning and we have 9 submissions already. So the deadline is March 21st. And please go ahead and like Prof said, this can also be used as your registration of, you expressing your interest. But this is a long form, so please, fill it up, take your time, and be very mindful of everything that Prof has said here. So having said that, I don't want to keep people, back as well. It's a Saturday evening. So I'm just going to conclude this session. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We are always there. You can connect with us on socials via AlgoBharat Twitter handle, or you could also reach out to Sunil, personally, if you have, on his social media, if you've got any questions around NFT marketplace. And of course, Prof is go-to for everything, but it would be nice if any of you really have questions here, because, I think it's great when you can just interact with them, over such webinars rather than writing to them. I think it just makes the process easier on you, in fact. So if nobody really, raises their hand or says anything, then, this is it. I am concluding the session.
I think we can conclude, Mohita.
Yeah.
So thank you
All
very
right.
much, everyone, for
All right.
joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.